Hello, Pat.
Hello. And here we are again. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Pat?
Me too. Me too. Here we are. Here I am in Fort Worth enjoying an Indian summer. We're almost in the middle of December and it's 70 degrees. Lovely.
Lovely, lovely.
Lovely,
Happy
lovely,
for you.
lovely.
And here I am joining in Tampa Bay area in Florida. Welcome to Town Square Talk, ladies and gentlemen.
We are so glad that you are here with us. If you are joining us for the very first time, welcome, welcome. The purpose for creating Town Square Talk is to help professional and entrepreneurs thrive in our new normal. Both Pearl and I, through our customers and our personal experiences, learned that this new normal was creating challenges, was challenging our beliefs and the way we do business. And we felt that this was a time for us to really be able to step in and bring subject matter experts, bring in our personal experience with our clients on how to assist you in managing the change and managing the chaos so that you actually are thriving in this year of 2019 and unknowns, right? I mean,
Indeed.
2020.
Oh, 2020. Yes, we're heading to 2021. Oh, look what 2020 can do to us, huh? Oh, man.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you, Pat. And Pat, why don't you share with us, our audience, your background? Let's just start.
Okay, absolutely. So I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. I am a business coach that works with seasoned women entrepreneurs who have businesses in project management, real estate, and in IT services, which is my background.
Mm-hmm.
And I help them create a plan to scale their business that aligns with their specific blueprint that flows with ease and grace and allows them to create a life and a business that they love. I recently released a book called Catherine's Quest, One Woman's Journey to Elation. It became a bestseller in September of this year. And you can go to my website, majesticcoachinggroup.com, and download chapter 1. And it's all about self-leadership.
Awesome. Thank you, Pat.
Pass it to you, Pearl.
And my name is Pearl Peng. I'm the co-host of Town Square Talk. I advise and guide C-suite executives, business owners, and entrepreneurs and their teams to working on achieving their excellence. And I have been in the corporate world for over 30 years. Pat and I actually used to work for IBM. Yes, yeah. It's awesome to have that sort of common ground to work with. And I also have been teaching yoga and Qigong Tai Chi for the past 4 years or so. So holistic approach is what I bring to the table to my clients. And to find out more about my work, please visit my website at benchmarkmaven.com. All right, Pat, we got some very, very interesting topics today.
Yes, it is a juicy conversation. And December is really the perfect time to be able to take a moment to reflect, think about what's happened in the year, and plan an exciting and better 2021. And so Pearl and I are going to be taking you through several things. One is how to go in and actually reflect and learn from what's gone for the past 12 months, and share with you an approach to go into planning, which is an approach that we've used. And then we'll share some tools. I'll open it up to questions and invite you to come on Zoom Live or key in your questions in the chat box or on Facebook. And we are here to serve you in a way that will carry you forward in 2021.
Indeed.
So why are we talking about planning, right? Pearl, it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah. Why is planning so important, Pat?
It is. It's in a really, if you don't have a goal, if you have goals and you don't have a plan, it's a wish. And so it's really important to really get clear, not only about your goals, but to build a supporting plan. And a plan is basically the roadmap. It has how to get you to the end result and the best way to get you to the end result. And the way it serves multiple purposes. First of all, it keeps you focused
Mhm.
on where you want to go. It allows you to keep motivated and build that momentum in accomplishing what's important to you. And it can be changed.
Right, right. Having a plan does allow you to put your perspectives, right, in and align with your purpose. What are you trying to accomplish here?
Mhm.
And honestly, if you don't do it with a plan, it somehow doesn't help you anchor, like you said, right? So it is so important to have a plan, whether you have done it previously in a very organized way or you haven't done it at all. Totally something to rethink,
Yes,
especially at the end of this time. And we mentioned also when to do the planning. This is the best time to plan out for the following year, as well as wrapping up the plan, right, for this year. What
yes.
have you planned to do and what you would also want to kind of move things around. So that is why planning is so important. And it's not a one-off thing, right? You got to
That's
do
right.
it regularly as well. So
Yes, and exactly, and it's right. So we encourage you to do it definitely in December, and there are other times you can do it, right, Pearl?
absolutely. On a regular basis, you do want to revisit and so on. So let's move on to talking about the approach that we mentioned, that Pat mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
What is the approach that we recommend viewers to consider?
So there are if you were to search on the internet on how to plan,
Hmm.
you're going to come up with there's all different kinds of approaches. And the one that we're going to talk about today is the one an approach that uh, Pearl and I use. It's an approach that I use with my clients. And so, try it on for size. If it fits, fantastic. If it doesn't, maybe you take elements of what we cover with you and you bring them into your own planning cycle.
Absolutely. So the very first thing, clearly, before you would want to really kind of do the planning, is to reflect on what has been completed, what
Mhm.
had happened, and also how that would tie to your goal setting. And why
Exactly.
is reflection so important, Pat?
Right. If reflection is important because you want to be able to take a moment and look back at your successes, look back at the lessons learned, and be able to utilize and take advantage of what you learned throughout the year. As entrepreneurs, we experiment. And unless we take that time to learn about the experiments and what we learned from them, we really don't grow from those initiatives and efforts. And it's important. And we'll go into these bubbles of elements that we'll be covering with you a little later in detail. So,
Exactly.
reflection,
With
goal
the
setting, yeah,
reflection,
key.
yes, yes. Reflection, as you mentioned, and you can start to tie them into the goal settings that you would want to put in the plan. So reflecting on what has completed and thinking forward, right, as well as contemplating on where you're at in your journey of your life, journey of your business. So that's the first sort of aspect, the first ingredient, right, of the approach.
Right.
And then the next ingredient is about the tools and resources, clearly. So once you started to do the reflecting, clearly you can use your pad and pencil writing things down. That's really, the basic tool that we sometimes probably don't use enough, especially with the computer so available now these days. Yet there are certainly many other tools out there that can help us in planning. So we're going to go over a few of those tools that have worked really unfailing for us, and it's been proven. And clearly, there are many others, but we like to highlight those tools and resources for you.
And of course, the importance of a mastermind. Uh, what Pearl and I have learned is that when two or more gather, just the level of support, the level of brainstorming, the ideas, the accountability really makes a big difference in the way you plan your goals, what becomes important. And it's better to go through the growth of your business and your life with others. So we encourage you to not do it in a vacuum. And so we'll be talking a little bit more about Mastermind.
Indeed. And this approach actually can be adaptable and used for planning your business with your team. So
Mhm.
clearly, the mastermind would incorporate your stakeholders, right? Your team members that may are required to reach the goals. So clearly, the mastermind part includes the employee as well as perhaps your vendors and your ecosystem folks that are involved. So it's so very important to do masterminding, make sure that the plan is inclusive in many ways. And the next thing, clearly, once you have them all kind of started to lay out, you would need to start to consider potential risks, perhaps certain caution that keep in mind. Um, and
Definitely.
again, we're going to talk about that some more.
Right. Because nothing is perfect, right? Nothing is perfect. So it's important to be able to really do your checks and balances
Absolutely.
and have your plan B,
Right.
plan C. And sometimes when we do our planning, we want to do so much that we try to boil the ocean in order to get something done or meet a certain goal. So this is where you ask yourself, what am I really doing? Am I trying to boil the ocean? What becomes really a priority? Because you can't do it all.
Clearly.
And
Yes.
so we want you in this space to actually give priority to what is really important and to use your resources, meaning time, energy, and finances to be able to get you there.
That's right. And the next ingredient to actually think about is how you would track and tweak. In other words, what are the sort of process and steps for you to make changes? As you know, that planning is one thing, yet life can happen. As COVID-19 happened, many other things happened in this year that probably might not have been foreseeable when you're doing the planning. So as you carry on forward, the tracking, monitoring, making things measurable type of way to help you execute a plan as well as doing the tweaking and making changes is totally necessary. And as Pat mentioned, this is one approach that's been tried and true for both of us and our
Mhm.
clients. And there may be some small details within those, but these are the five sort of aspects
Mhm.
that need to be considered as you sort of embark or work on the plan for 2021.
So we're going to take not a deep dive, but a deeper level of discussion on really what it is that reflection is. So reflection can mean different things to different people, and when we have done our reflection, we have actually set aside some specific questions that we want you to take into consideration. As I mentioned earlier, reflection is a time for you to take a look at all the experiments that you embarked on in the following year. And there are three questions that we invite you to really take a look at. And one of them, the first one is what went well, right? What went well of all your projects? And what thread was common among all your projects that you would want to then have become part of your checklist or your process when you move into a new project, so that you start actually developing a template of things that have contributed to any kind of event that you have. And when you're looking at that, one of the things that we invite you to do is to really celebrate what went well. If you're a driver, like Pearl and I are drivers, we get something done. A lot of the time we check the list. Okay, I've done that project, and you go to the next one. And I am guilty of doing that. And the reason that I bring it to your attention is that we have to actually um, savor the success of a project versus just checking it off and going to the next one, and just really take that in and celebrate yourself in some way. That's very important in order it allows us to feed our heart and our soul of the efforts and the energy and the time that we've devoted into something. The next question would be, what didn't go so well? Not all our projects are going to be complete successes. We're going to learn along the way. So I see our work as success or lessons, right? As opposed to saying it was a failure. And when you have those projects that didn't go as well as you like, how can you look back and reflect and say, okay, now I understand why this project didn't get done on time, what went awry, and just really start building those specific lessons. I personally like to do that on a daily basis, and I journal those lessons. So every day I learned something. Every day something went well. Every day something didn't go as well. And for me, being able to take the time and document that in a journal, it helps me then really take that information in at a deeper level. And then I end up taking that information and grow based on those lessons. And I can go back in a year and just look at all the lessons that I learned. So what went well, what didn't go well. And you also have to ask yourself, from all those projects, which ones are you going to continue to do? Which ones really produced the results that you wanted? Which ones didn't? And why? So both of these require the why question. Am I going to continue to do this? Why am I going to do it? Because it produced the results. It got you aligned. It opened doors for you. The ones you don't want to continue to do, you don't want to do, why don't you want to do them? Right? Is being very clear about the decision making in deciding that. And also, what will you start? What will you start? Because sometimes we take on projects because they're fun and because of people that you were involved with and working with, and you love their energy. But at the end of the day, they didn't produce any additional key contacts or profit. And it's really important to be able to ask yourself, did I do it just for fun? Or did this really end up getting me closer to my overall mission and vision? So those keys are very question. And of course, with COVID-19, it changed a lot of, for many of us, it changed the way we do business. There were some things that we had to stop doing. There was no choice, right? There were some of things that we continued to do, and then there were some things that we had to start doing, right? The way that we deliver services, the way that we had to go online. So there were certain things that we had to start doing because of COVID-19 and not being able to be in a community of people. So this is where you ask yourself those questions, and especially the why. So,
And
do you have any?
interestingly, with the reflection,
Yeah.
you would then start to project and double check on your aspiration, on what you would like to achieve, and start to identifying the goals that you will want to accomplish for
Yes.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly reflection is such important ones to look back, as Pat had called out, and then starting to relate to the goals
Mm-hmm.
on for next year and start to chunk them back down.
Right,
So
exactly. And we'll go through a process that we'll go through a tool that will help you identify those goals in a level of detail that you can act on. So there
indeed.
are several tools that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
And one of those tools is the vision board.
And what is a vision board,
What is
Pat?
a vision board? So I am a strong advocate for a vision board. A vision board has been around for a very long time. And what it is it is a visual representation of the end result of your goals. It can be done in pictures, it can be done in words. Typically, when I take my clients through that exercise, I have them buy a poster board, and then we bring out our magazines and we cut out pictures that reflect the end result. It
All
may
right.
be,
So perhaps we can share an example as
yeah,
you
let's
take
do
us
that.
through. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that. All right,
There
cool.
are so many ways to do it. Isn't a right or a wrong way. And this is a perfect example of goals. So you can see that this particular gal was interested in getting fit because she has there a very fit body, a before and after. You can tell that family was very important, and really in love and spending time. She wanted a new vehicle. And she was, wanted to be very focused in her job and just really, even internal work. You see her affirmations here. I am
Mhm.
beautiful. I am confident. I am the perfect age. And so you bring in mind, body, and soul into these vision boards. The benefit is that you have a constant picture in front of you of what you want to achieve, and you get inspired and motivated by seeing these pictures. Now, can they change? Absolutely. You can redo a vision board at any time, add to your vision board, and just really have a lot of fun with it. I love when I've been doing vision boards for many, many years, and I do it at the beginning of each year. So this is a perfect time to think about your goals and then turn those into visual representations and feelings, if you will. And then the next one we want to talk about is actually, it's called the crack board, right? I love that. It's the crack board. But wait
Yeah.
till you hear what it's all about.
Yeah, who doesn't want to talk about their crap? And crap board technique actually was created by Mark Robert Waldman, who is a neuro coach as well as a teacher and author. And he actually created this as he was flying back from a conference. And since he's been in the neuroscience for a long time, this has been proven with about 30 years of research backing this. So another technique to consider. So what does CRAP mean? CRAP actually has four letters, sort of an acronym for four letters. The first thing is conflicts. And the second one is resistance, anxiety, and procrastinations. Now, who here does not have at least one of those?
Really? I'll sign
So
up for the procrastination part of it. Right now, I can tell you.
I know that I
Same.
have, yeah, at least all four of those. And
We
in
all do
fact,
at some
yeah,
level. Yeah.
in fact, there could be additional sort of crappy, we call it crappy feelings that you may want to sort of start to list out. The technique is really easy. Just like a board, you would list them out on a board, on a big board, and you start to just write them out, every single one of them, whatever comes to mind. Sky's the limit. Be honest with yourself. Yes, have fun, of course. So with conflicts, as an example, you may have certain conflicting feelings on certain things that somehow you don't know which one to do. So I'm conflicting with what to do with my resources, or with maybe which product line to invest in if it's a business, right? So I'm conflicting on, say, I want to do this, I want to do that as well. So that's one way to talk about it. And also relationship conflicts, right? I have conflicts with my coworker, I have conflicts with my boss, whatever the conflicts may be, that's kind of gnawing on you. So list them all out, right? Sky's the limit. And for resistances, similarly, perhaps there are certain changes that you got to do, but you don't, resist to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Exercise, eating well, for example.
Picking up
And
the phone and calling and talking to people.
there you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So those are the things that you may want to start to take notice and write them all down. And anxieties, clearly, there could be certain anxieties that somehow have been kind of keeping you from achieving things. And again, writing them down, procrastination, similarly. So listing them out is the first step. So it could take a little longer than an hour or two. So it doesn't matter. You can have a shorter version and just sit with it. Again, it's a living document. It's your life, right? We are all pretty complex. So these things could change. And so give yourself permission, allow yourself to add to the list, and do not throw the list away. And
Mhm.
the thing is that you do want to have these 3 tips. You relax and meditate on every single one of them. So once you have that, the craps may come up easier for you to list them out. And then you can go through every single one of your crap list.
Mhm.
And there are a couple ways to do it. You can do, the first one is asking yourself for every single list, is it real?
Yeah.
Yes, is it real? Or was it just some sort of sensations or emotions? Somehow you have it pent up for some reason. So you can ask yourself, is it real? And also you can ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, what is the impact of
Yes.
this particular crab for
Mm-hmm.
you? Is it really keeping you sort of frozen, or somehow impacting a whole lot, or prohibiting you from achieving something, especially the procrastination, right, side of things?
Mm-hmm.
So list them. You can cancel them out once you start to figure it out. If it doesn't quite exist, cross it out with one line. You may also use sort of the what they call the Silva technique, is to kind of close your eyes and see if you kind of just imagine you wiping it completely blank slate. So
Off the
the whole
board, right?
image, yeah, the whole image is gone.
Exactly.
So those 2 ways. So give it a shot. Everybody's different. For
Yeah,
some,
absolutely.
maybe the erasing part it works, and maybe the waiting part works. So everybody is different. To try them out for yourself.
And I think this process here is really good. It's good to do it at the time that you're doing your planning, but it's also good, I feel, throughout the year.
Yes.
When you go back and you review and you find that you're not progressing
Hmm.
in certain goals, you might want to ask yourself, what is getting in the way of
Indeed.
me moving forward? Let me go back and look at my crap and see if it's my procrastination of feeling that I have to be perfect that's keeping me from moving forward.
And some people might feel that this is somehow against law of attraction, right? So in other words, you are meditating and contemplating on those. In fact, it's the opposite. Because you have them on the board, and you do want to keep the board right next to your vision board, your accomplishment board, and your pleasure board.
Mhm.
So guess what? Have them out there. And now you actually, in a way, transfer that thought, the crap in your head, the space between your ears, out onto the board. So the crap may not go away, yet the impact is going to get more and more diminished.
Yes,
So
definitely.
try it out. It
Yeah,
has worked for many, many people. So perhaps it will work for you.
yeah, definitely.
And that is the
Anything is
crab
worth
board.
trying until you decide that it just doesn't work for you.
Indeed. Yes.
You try it out. Yeah.
Interesting tool, isn't it, Pat?
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it makes you stop and think. So
Yes.
many times we let our feelings dictate our actions, and
Hmm.
in a lot of in this process, I can see where you're dealing with a lot of feelings that you can, you become aware of because you can't change what you're not aware of. And so this is what the crap board does, is to make you aware of where your emotions are getting the best of you or holding you back, and awareness is where it starts.
Absolutely. You got to surface them, right? So that you can understand it yourself. If you
Yes.
do not have that, then having that relax and meditation part is to have it surface for you, right? Have it clearer, make it clear, the crap clearer for you. So it makes so much sense. I've practiced it myself. I need to revisit, especially in 2020. I found myself having a lot more crap.
Yeah. I think most people
So,
had a little bit more anxiety
yeah.
than we've ever had in our life. And
Yes,
so, yes,
yes,
it's
yeah,
important to acknowledge it.
exactly. Yes. Bless you.
So, the next thing we're going to talk about is SMART. So,
Mm.
you've had an opportunity to, excuse me,
Get some water.
reflect, look at your crap. And now we're at the point where we're looking at the detail of our goals. The SMART tool stands for SMART, and it's a tool that has been around for a very long time. Excuse me, that helps you get clarity on your goal, because the more clarity you have, the better you're going to be able to plan. So we're going to start with the letter S. And the letter S stands for specific. So you want to be very specific with your goal. And for this exercise, we're going to use the example of wanting to increase your email list. So we all know the importance of that in order to get businesses to be able to grow an email list. And so let's say that this year, for the end of 2021, that you're going to decide that you're going to double the size of your email list. So if your email list is 500, then your goal would be to grow it to 1,000, and being able to be specific about the goal. Because once you're specific, you can build a plan against it. When it's wishy-washy, it's hard to even develop a plan. So this is what S does. The M stands for measurable. And it's very important to be able to measure your progress in in whatever, in this case, it would be volume, right? If you're at 500 and you want to grow your list to 1,000, then every month you go back and you look at how many additional names were added to your email list, so that you know the progression of um, of the things that you're doing, your strategies or your tactics. Are they working? A stands for achievable. And what's important about achievable is, in this case, you want to make sure that you have the skills to actually achieve those goals. Sometimes you're looking to do something new in your business, and you have to add a new skill set in order to be able to do that. So when you look at achievable, you want to be able to say, can it be done with the skill set that I have? And if I have to add a skill set, then let's add the skill sets so that you're able to um, reach that goal. So that's what the A is for. The R is for relevant. And relevant means, does this align with my values? So does this align with my vision? So we can want to take on different goals. And the important question is, does this goal, is it relevant to what I value? Many times we feel that we take on projects based on an expert or a guru, or someone says, this is the way I did it, and if you do it this way, you'll get the same results, when you find that some of the processes actually don't make sense to you or don't resonate with you. So it's going to be really important that the goals are relevant. It's something that you really want to do. They align with your values. And the last one is time bound. And it's important to be able to give a target date to your goal. So if you want to double your from 500 to 1,000, you know, you're measuring it, you know, it's within your scope, you have the skills to do it, it aligns with what you want to do in your business. And you say, by December, I will get to 1,000. Now, when you set your goals, you're going to review them. And it's important to be able to review them because you want to be able to make adjustments based on what you're learning. So maybe you underestimated the length of a particular task and it's taking you longer than you expected. And now your timeline has to change. So this is a really, really amazing tool to use to get yourself started in planning your goals, so you have that level of clarity. And once you get used to this way of setting goals, you'll never go back. Amazing process to use.
Yeah, the SMART goal setting. Excuse me, me too, huh? What's going on?
Allergies for me.
Is yeah, it's totally so valuable to keep in mind when you have the goal getting set, so that everyone is on board on and clear with, you know, sharing the same lingo and same idea when they set their goals, especially if you have goals for your team. So yeah, the SMART,
Exactly.
yes, the SMART tool is
Process
totally
works.
gotta be working smart, right?
Yeah.
I love the
Amazing
acronym.
process.
Easy to remember
Mm-hmm.
too. So, mastermind, once the plan is set, is sort of taking shape, clearly
Mm-hmm.
masterminding, by the way, the approach we mentioned, it's certainly not linear, right? So
Mm,
remember the 5 clouds that we had, starting from reflection,
brilliant.
goal setting, and the resources and tools selection, as well as your masterminding and so on. It's totally going sort of hand in hand. So as you build out the plan, you want to start to sort of run the plan with whoever makes sense to
Mhm.
to obtain some input and some feedback, and perhaps even asking some tough questions that you probably didn't think of. So it's always good to keep that in mind. Masterminding is a very important piece of the whole planning. So especially with stakeholders, whether it's again the team member or your supervisor, your boss or your vendors, people who are in your ecosystem, and of course your clients, right? Getting feedback from your customers is another way to improve your customer experience as well.
Yeah.
So if you start to kind of communicate the plan, saying here's the big goals that we like to have, any feedback could be obtained earlier on may help as well. So checking out with your key
Mm,
clients, especially key ideal clients that have been buying from you, that would like to
exactly.
see you becoming more and more successful. So those folks are the ideal folks, and clearly the experts, right? And any consultants, industry experts, many other resources, it is also necessary to be considered. So
So
masterminding,
Pearl and I belong to a mastermind. In fact,
yes,
this idea came up from a mastermind.
right.
Uh, a mastermind group can be, in our case, is as small as 3 people.
Mm-hmm,
And just to give you an example of how we do it, we meet every other week, and
mm-hmm,
we meet for an hour.
right.
And everyone, and all 3 of us come to the table with our projects and what we're working on. And
Mm-hmm,
we feedback, we get feedback on the project. First of all, we report on where we are with our projects and where we may need help. And we talk about where we're the next steps that are following in our project, and we get
mm-hmm,
feedback from the others. And then we commit within our group of what we're going to get done in the next 2 weeks. So within the hour, everybody gets 20 minutes to talk about their particular projects, what's going on, where they need help with, where their challenges are, and then what they commit to. And this can be a formula that you use. So
yes,
it can be larger, your mastermind can be larger. It's just one of being able to manage the time and allowing everyone the time that they need to express and talk about their particular project.
yes. So
Mhm.
definitely the format needs to be determined on, as well as what's on the agenda. So you keep your focus there, and it's amazing how some great ideas can come out from a mastermind.
Yes,
And like Pat mentioned,
absolutely.
this particular show was the baby of that. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
and of
So
course, from the internet and
yeah,
other exports, yeah, it's just so
exactly. I
many.
mean,
Yeah,
use the resources.
yes, use
The
the
internet has
resources.
so many examples, so many templates.
Hmm.
You can find all kinds of things on the things that we've talked to you about, the SMART bowl,
Hmm.
the craft board, the mastermind. So if you're curious and you're wanting to know about other templates, you can always go to the internet and find all kinds of examples. And there's so much out there that rarely will you not find something, because usually it's already been invented. So
Right.
yeah, use your
So
resources.
clearly, keep it simple, right? Keep yourself focused.
Right.
All right. So let's see if there's any questions so far. I think we're pretty good.
I think that one of the things that we didn't talk about, because it
Mm.
looks like we have some extra time,
Yes.
is that there's so many ways that you can document
Mm.
your plan.
Hmm.
We've taught you the methods of doing it.
Hmm.
So obviously, if you're using SMART, you're creating your goals, you're identifying all the tasks, you're adding the deadlines to it,
Hmm.
you're identifying who's going to help you with it, what how much time, energy, and resources that it's going to take in order to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I love to do my plans in a tool called Trello.
Mm-hmm.
So Trello allows me to actually detail my plan out and even share it with others on where we are with the task.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a tool called Asana that allows you to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're working on a project and it requires a team to do it, and you all need to be able to go to just one place
Mm-hmm.
where you can keep track of the assignments, keep track of the issues, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two tools that I recommend. And by the way, they're free. So that's a great way to start the documenting of the project plan
Mm-hmm.
and the changes and the review of the goals is to use those tools in a way that work for you. Now, some people love spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets too. I do a lot on spreadsheets. So, Pearl, how do you like to document
I'm
your project?
still a MS project gal, so
Mhm.
I had done too many project management previous life, so that's something that I could do in my sleep. So
Right.
that's the tool that I've been using, and it's been serving me well. So yeah, I love project,
Yeah.
and many enterprise clients use them too. So it's so much easier to work with them using MS
Definitely.
Project. And there's so many other tools out there.
Yep.
Seriously, it's not something that we're going to be focused on this particular show, but clearly find a simple enough tool to use. This is not something that you will want to kind of sweat over. It's really a tool that can serve the purpose, so it's not going to be getting you away.
Mhm.
Sometimes when you pick a tool that can just take up so much time, even you
Yeah.
just to learn the tool, right? So yeah, so a spreadsheet will work just fine if spreadsheet is something that can serve your purpose. So yeah, the totally tools are.
And once you start planning your projects and you start seeing it on paper, you start seeing the level of sophistication
Mm-hmm.
and work and energy that it's going to take. It's really important to identify the risks of the goals that you're planning and the project that you're planning and be able
Mm-hmm.
to have that plan A, plan B, and that you are realistically looking at the risks of the project or the goal that you're actually laying out and be able to address the risk, right? You don't want to bury your head in the sand and say everything's going to go perfect, because Pearl and I know that it rarely ever unrolls or unravels or unfolds perfectly. And the smarter path would be to sit back and say, okay, so where in this particular project do I have the most risk?
Yes.
Right. And sometimes with people outside of your team where the
Mm-hmm.
risk exists,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you
Indeed.
can't control vendors. Just like with COVID-19,
Mm.
so many products became unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people here had their own specific products and they had elements that were coming from overseas. And there was a delay
Mm.
in that particular ingredient or part. And now they have to be able to, and never before, it's probably, this is, if this didn't become really a something in the forefront, this year actually, made it really amplified the fact of the dependency that we have with our vendors and with products overseas,
Mm-hmm.
that because of shipping, because of policies, that they didn't come in on time. And so now, you know, you may revisit and say, okay, my plan B is to try to find this particular element within the United States versus buying it overseas where you're used to. So plan A, plan B, mitigating the risks, talking about those risks on a daily basis is very important.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So we did our own goal setting as well with Town Square Talk Show. So reflection for 2020, we started the show in April, and it just has been so amazing with many of our um, guest speakers joining us.
Yes.
And there we have it. We started with a weekly show, didn't we, Pat? Because it was kind of like a bit of a oh my gosh, this is so unprecedented, didn't know what's going on, and let's put stuff out there to help folks to
Mhm.
kind of regroup and figure out what to focus on. We started with, a very simple, easy thing in April, few shows to really focusing on health, right, on wellness,
Mhm.
on how we kind of make sure that we are anchoring ourselves and improving the immunity and so on. So also even getting into using the hypnotherapy to improve the performance. Isn't that amazing? Those are really good 3 shows. So if you miss those shows, clearly we are present on Facebook as well as YouTube. Town
Okay.
Square Talk, Town Square one word, and talk in a separate word. You will be able to find us. So feel free to check out the past shows and follow on the May, June, and July. We finally decided we're going to go with a monthly show starting in July.
And this is where we reflected, right? At every show, we
Yes.
reflected. We
Mm-hmm.
got better at producing the show, and then our businesses started to grow. We felt that in order to be able to maintain some sanity and
Mm-hmm.
still be able to make an impact, is that we were still going to make an impact with our shows. And we had some other amazing, opportunities come in front of us that we wanted to take advantage of. And so we did a pivot, right? And this, we're in a perfect example of what's going to happen within your year, is that opportunities will come that you didn't expect, and you need to reprioritize. And this is a step in that direction for us, was to really sit back and say, what is realistic for us
Mm-hmm.
without burning the candle on both ends.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. So clearly, besides the wellness on the body, there's also the balance on wellness and working in the workplace. So we did the work from home show, and how also relationships impact during the
Oh, yeah.
2020 when we have to get stuck at
Mhm.
home. So Alone Together, such a crucial show to watch. Navigating today's relationship, especially with your significant other, and of course the benefit of the therapeutic music. Oh my gosh, music is so important. Yes.
Yes.
So then we had the vulnerability advantage by with Wendy Lee. That is so interesting in a way that it's so timely
Yes.
for us to really be able to express our emotions, especially in 2020.
Come from the heart.
And yeah. And then we had to kind of take a pause a bit, and we did the reflection and path forward, thinking about what we would do for the rest of the year. And of course, the book launch was very special with Pat, since she had worked with Mary to do her book launch. So that was a very, very informative session with Mary, and attracting and captivating your ideal client using photography. That is Marsha
That was
Dogan.
really a lot of fun. I learned a
Yeah.
lot from that. I love photography. And it's just really interesting to see somebody else's eye on photography.
And she
It was
has
very
even helped us
expanding.
with our own show. I
Oh.
hope you like the background that we've been having these days.
We've been having fun with it too.
There you go.
But yeah, this is really fun.
Yeah, and with July, especially the financial security, what can
Wow.
be
Yeah.
addressed? It needs to be addressed too. So hopefully you got a chance to check out those shows, and then we're turning to monthly show in August through this month. Today will be the last show for 2020, and we will come back next year
Exactly.
stronger and
Yeah.
better, hopefully
Yeah,
for you. And
exactly.
these are the
And by the way,
themes.
yeah, and so we are planning now. These are some of the themes that we have planned for 2021. And I can tell you this is not cast in stone. If you would like to see something specific, you'd like to throw in an idea, just go to Facebook and say, can you do a topic on A, B, and C? And broaden our perspective. You may be showing us an idea that can help a lot of people. And so we're really open to your ideas. So in
Exactly.
January, we'll start with new beginnings
Mhm.
and take a moment to take a look at the year and what we want to get into. And it'll be an exciting session. February is for self-love. So we're talking about self-care and practices that you can bring into your life. Honoring women, Women History Month. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a panel discussion on that. And April, honoring Mother Earth and how to really honor the environment and the ecology and what you can do to bring that into your business.
Mm-hmm.
And in May, we're going to be honoring mothers, and they play such an important part in our lives. June, we honor our fathers and the graduates, and we'll be celebrating also summer solstice. We take a summer vacation in July, and then we come back and we talk about Equality Day and the history of that and how it came about and what's happening today. As you all know, women don't get equal pay to the same time for the same type of job that men do, and where is it today, right? Are we seeing changes? Are we making progress? The autumn equinox, which is we just love to bring in the mind, body, and soul and the cycles of the earth, and we'll be talking about that. Cancer awareness and the importance of getting checked and people that are thriving and beside the obstacles of cancer, and being thankful in November, and then enjoying a Christmas, New Year, or winter solstice. So we've got those ideas and cooking, if you will. And we invite you to stay tuned, and we're open to your ideas for sure.
Yes, and even if you have additional ideas within the theme, we would love to hear from you.
Yes,
Any speaker
definitely.
suggestions as well. So thank you very much in advance for your ideas
Wow.
and thoughts and comments sharing with us. And also thank all the people who have
Been a
interacted
part of
with
our
us. And
journey, right?
yes,
So many, we've met so many fascinating people and learned about their stories,
mm-hmm.
gave us ideas, made us laugh. It's wonderful. It was wonderful.
Enrich our experience indeed. So thank you so much. All right. Now, don't forget the free gift that we have to offer you, the SMART, the detailed step by step, as well as the craft board. The two Word document actually can be a PDF document. I suppose it's probably easier to deliver.
Yeah.
It's ready for you to consult with, and just send us an email at townsquaretalk@gmail.com. You can
Mhm.
also drop us comments as well. And if you feel that you have additional, maybe a bit of specific interest or specific sort of focus you'd like us to help you with, feel free to reach out to either of us to get
Absolutely.
that scheduled. So it's our website up there.
Yeah, Pearl and I firmly believe that if we're going to talk about a specialty that is our specialty, which is planning, is definitely one of them. Goal setting
Mm-hmm.
is that we offer the support that goes along with it. So definitely, if you want to book time with us, 30 minutes worth of time to discuss what we've talked about today, we're open to helping you out.
All right, Pat. We got a quote today.
Oh my goodness, we have a great quote today. I love this by Alan Lakin. Planning is bringing the future into the present so that you can do something about it now. Planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now.
Isn't that the truth?
Isn't that true? So the question to you is, are you willing? Are you willing to take the time to step into planning an amazing 2021? And are you willing to do what it takes to get it done?
Well, Pat, here's
Last words.
2020.
Here we go. It's going to be amazing 2021. We wish you the best. Thank you for being with us for the last 8 months. And we look forward to seeing you next year.
And have a happy, happy holiday seasons. Enjoy your Christmas
And a happy new
or
year.
Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. And stay safe, stay well. We'll see you in 2021.
We are grateful.